Hey, y'all. So we've read the words that God told Joshua, and we've read the words where God told the people of Israel in Deuteronomy before Joshua. I want you to listen to this section of scripture in 1 Kings chapter 2. And the little header in my Bible says David's last words in death. So David has declared that Solomon would be king at his passing. And so 1 Kings chapter 2 says, when David's time to die was near, he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all earth, be strong and show yourself a man. Keep the charge of the Lord your God, walk in his ways, keep his statutes, his commandments, his precepts, his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that you may do wisely and prosper in all that you do and wherever you turn. He says that the Lord may fulfill his promise to me, saying, if your sons take heed to their way, to walk before me in truth, with all of their heart and mind, and with all of their soul, there shall not fail you to have a man on the throne in Israel. But David tells Solomon the very same thing. Keep his statutes. Keep the charge of the Lord your God. Walk in his ways. Keep his commandments, his precepts, and his testimonies, as it is written. Don't turn from it. The only way that you're going to be successful in this endeavor, the only way that you're going to be able to do what God has destined you to do, is to keep that promise of destiny in front of your face. Satan, who is the arch deceiver, the principal, the chief deceiver. And remember, the deceiver is the one who tries to make us accept as truth what is really false. So he plants seeds of deception, plants seeds of failure. He whispers, excuse me, or screams for us to see what's going on around us. Screams for us to see how desperate things are, rather than keeping the word in front of our face and speaking it to ourselves. I'm not going to ask you if you ever talk to yourself, because if you don't, are you even human? If you don't have some conversations with yourself, can you even call yourself a real person? But instead of murmuring about what's going on, or we just can't believe that this is actually happening, if we would just find, even if it's a phrase of promise that we can repeat in a pickle, when you get in a pinch, when the pressure's really hard, because believe me, friend, I know that the pressure is really hard. But when that assault comes and the waves of Satan's voice just seem relentless, find a phrase that you can speak to yourself. Find a phrase that you can speak to yourself. He says to meditate, think on it day and night, that you may observe it and do according to all that is written in it, that you would make your way prosperous. And see, there's not a power in hell that can stand against the great I am. There's just not. Hell can't hold out long enough to stop the promise of God. And so you keep doing what you know to do. You keep looking at the promise. You keep speaking the promise. You keep meditating on the promise. Don't turn to the right or left. and you will make your way prosperous. You will deal wisely, and you will have good success. But the only place it's possible, the only place we find hope, is in view of the promise of God. And these great men that we read about in the Old Testament, Moses, Joshua, David, Solomon, they all knew they had to keep the word in front of their face. They had to hear and see the promise of God. All right, we will pick up here later. I'll see you. Bye, y'all.